It's Friday, everyone. What do we do on Fridays here at the Hint Hive? That's right, we smash the patriarchy. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Hint Hive, Amplifying Women's Voices. I'm your host, Kelly Hint, Queen Bee of this hive, as well as your resident feminist life coach and psychotherapist. Today, we are taking a bold, unapologetic dive into something that's been shaping our lives more than we realize. How capitalism thrives on making women feel like we're never enough, and how to stop feeding it. So ladies, get comfy and let's get into it. So here's the thing. Capitalism isn't just an economic system. It is a master manipulator with a flair for psychological warfare. It is not simply selling us lipstick, diets, or home decor. It is selling us the idea that without them, we are somehow incomplete. And this isn't new. This game has been played on women for centuries. And I'm sorry, but the numbers don't lie. Globally, the beauty and personal care industry is worth over $600 billion. That is more than the GDP of most countries. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. Weight loss programs rake in over $250 billion annually. Cosmetic surgery, another $68 billion and growing fast. Even industries like home decor, luxury fashion, and self-improvement coaching get in on the action by subtly, or not so subtly, telling women that their value depends on keeping up. Back in my day, there I go, sounding like an old person. Back in my day, there was this expression, keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's evolved into FOMO for newer generations, right? But we've always got to keep up. You know, this person has this, so I've got to have it too. And if I don't, then what does that say about me? And what are people going to think about me? Well, hopefully you've been listening to this podcast long enough where you can say F what people think about you, because you are a wonderful, fabulous human and stuffs don't matter, and either do other people's opinions. But anyway, let's talk about this capitalism really, I was going to say capitalizing on, capitalism taking advantage of women's insecurities, because the roots go deep. In the 1920s, makeup companies warned women that they would never find a husband without rouge on their cheeks. Remember that word, rouge? Does anyone still use the word rouge? For those who are like, what the hell is rouge? It's blush. I don't know, you might even call it something different nowadays. I have no idea. I'm so out of touch with this stuff. And then the 1960s brought an explosion of diet culture as women entered professional spaces, pushing the narrative that thinness equaled competence. Yuck. I don't like that at all. I do see today, like, definitely a little bit more body positivity, and that's coming out of the younger generations, and I love it. But anyway, today, social media algorithms amplify our insecurities with precision, making sure that every scroll is a reminder of what we should be. Because even though, like, I'm so impressed with the body positivity that I see, I almost feel like that is such a small slice of what's going on in social media, because more than body I can't even speak today, sorry, more than body positivity. I see a lot of like beauty influencers, all this makeup BS and all this diet stuff. So yeah, there's as far as we've come, which isn't very far, we have a lot further to go with, the world playing on women's insecurities. So this it goes beyond beauty. It's the insecurity economy, like, because this isn't just about appearance. Capitalism monetizes doubt in every single corner of our freaking lives. Our parenting, our work performance, our cooking, our fitness, even our hobbies. Just take a look. What is your Instagram feed filled with? Is it a bunch of like parenting influencers talking about their, how perfect they are as parents and they do this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah? Guess what? I would be willing to bet that behind the scenes, they are a hot mess just like the rest of us. There's their whole, I hate how capitalism is woven into our insecurities. Want to be a better mom? There's a $400 stroller for that. Want to be taken seriously in the office? Better invest in a $500 power suit. Want your home to feel cozy and Instagram ready? That'll be another $300 in seasonal decor, right? You know what I'm talking about. Every single corner of your life can be turned into a sales opportunity if you're willing to believe that you're lacking. And that sucks. And it pisses me off. Sorry to be so blunt, but I do not like that at all. And so let's talk about why it works so well. Because from the very first moment that we take our very first breath, the world begins feeding us a steady drip of cultural messages. What's considered desirable, respectable, lovable, and even what's worth celebrating. These messages come from family, from media, advertising, and even casual conversations. Over time, our brains become finely tuned to measure ourselves against a constantly shifting, often impossible standard. And when we inevitably can't measure up to that unattainable ideal, that's when the market sweeps in, cape on, and hand outstretched. Not to save us, but to sell us the supposed cure, neatly packaged and ready to purchase with a swipe of the credit card. I hate to admit it, I have been sucked into it on more times than I care to admit. But here's the raw, unfiltered truth. You were never intended to win this game. The system is engineered so that the more you doubt yourself, the more it can sell you so-called fixes. The longer you feel not enough, the longer the money keeps streaming into its pockets. It's an intentionally crafted, highly profitable loop designed to keep you constantly chasing approval and paying for the privilege. And before I talk about actionable steps to break the cycle, I just want to go back to a very fundamental piece that we seem to be missing. And that's confidence. Because ladies, I'm telling you, when you get right with yourself, because you have wronged yourself, you have called yourself horrible names, you have believed horrible things about your appearance or your lifestyle, your parenting, whatever it happens to be, you have been rotten to yourself. It's time to get right with yourself. It's time that you start recognizing how amazing you are. I would even encourage you to make a list. Well, because, I'm kind of a list person, so I do that sometimes. But make a list of all of the qualities about yourself that you love, or maybe even just kind of like a little bit. Because the higher your self-esteem, the more confident that you are, the less likely you are to be sucked into this capitalistic preying on your insecurities. And I encourage you, if you're struggling with that, reach out for help. I don't care if it's me or someone else, but you need to get right with you. You need to recognize the amazing queen that you are, or whatever word you prefer to describe yourself as. I know some people don't like the word queen. I think it's fun, so I say it. But let me tell you, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I don't have the receipts to add up to figure out how much money I have spent trying to make myself feel better, because for some reason I didn't think I measured up. And let me tell you, ladies, even when you get confident, then the aging process happens and you have to do the work all over again. I'm turning 52 on my next birthday, and I'm noticing lines on my face that never existed there before, right? And so guess what? The beauty industry will prey on me. They somehow get a hold of how old you are, and all of a sudden you start seeing advertisements for eye cream to get rid of those lines, right? The crow's feet. Guess what? I give zero craps about that. I'm not using the damn eye cream. I will take care of myself. And I have a great facial routine that I do every day with, cleansers and toners and moisturizers, because that's good for me to take care of my skin. It has nothing to do, however, with me trying to recapture my 20s. Because guess what, sisters? Those days are long gone. I cannot recapture that with all the plastic surgery in the world. Now, I will say, I don't judge people who use eye cream. I don't judge people who get plastic surgery. I just want every woman listening to this to get real with who they are before they make some life-altering decisions. Even some minor capitalistic type decisions, right? Just get confident. Don't do the thing to try and be more appealing to others. Do the thing because that's what you want to do. Get the surgery because that is what would make you happy, not what would make other people think better of you. Screw that. Start making decisions for yourself, not for society. Unless, of course, it's to better society, then, But sticking with the topic at hand here, I just really hope that all of you listening do the work to get right with yourselves and to reestablish a healthier relationship with yourself. Get rid of the guilt you've been hanging on to, get rid of the insecurities that you've been hanging on to. And okay, yes, I'm just saying words into a microphone right now. And so I can imagine at least one person is like, oh yeah, sounds so easy. Just say it, it's easier said than done. Yes, it is easier said than done. So I'm telling you, take the steps to do it. I'm not saying that listening to me is going to change your world, but go find someone who can help you if you can't do it on your own. I work with women in therapy who have made such amazing leaps and bounds in their progress because they are determined to get to a healthier mindset, to get to a place where they can love themselves. That is the work that's more important than having the latest lipstick. Now, don't get me wrong. I really like lipstick, not because it makes me look a certain way, but because it makes me feel a certain way, not at the approval of others. But if I'm in a mood, I don't wear a whole lot of makeup very often, but every now and then I'll get in a mood and I'll be like, ooh, I kind of want to feel a little sassy today, and I'll slap on some red lipstick or whatever it happens to be. And that makes me feel good. Not because I'm trying to impress any other human on the face of this earth, but because I like the way it looks. And as I've aged, my priorities have shifted. I am so far past the days of trying to please other people or impress other people. That is gone. Thank you, menopause. I appreciate you taking the hormones away from me that made me a people pleaser. Okay, that's only part of it. A lot of it is the inner work that I've done. So, okay, I just went on an extraordinarily long tangent just to say, ladies, work on your insecurity, because when you strengthen that, you are less vulnerable to how capitalism preys on you. So, let's talk about 5 steps that you can take to break the cycle. So, step number 1, call out the marketing lie. When you see an ad, pause for a second and play detective. Is this addressing an actual need in my life? Or is it planting a seed of insecurity to sell me something? I'm telling you, that mindful moment is your first weapon, the first crack in the system's carefully built armor. Embrace it. Step number 2. I know that there are probably many of you that need to do this one. Audit your feed. Take a hard look at your social media and ask yourself, does this make me feel inspired, or does it chip away at my confidence? Curate it ruthlessly so that it uplifts you instead of undermining you. Unfollow accounts that peddle perfectionism or unrealistic lifestyles and replace them with voices and images that normalize real, messy, beautiful diversity in body shapes, in lifestyles, in successes, and in struggles. Follow more people making sourdough bread on your social media. Unless, of course, you look at their loaf of bread and say, oh, my loaf of bread looks horrible compared to that. I'm crap. Then don't. Just don't even follow that. All right. Step number 3. Spend with intention. Literally view every single dollar you spend as a direct vote for the kind of world that you want to live in. Choose to support ethical brands, women-owned businesses, or small local shops that reflect your values and uplift communities. Resist handing your money to mega companies that thrive on manufacturing insecurity and keeping you in a cycle of not enough. I would far rather give my money to a small business who isn't capitalizing on my insecurities. Step number 4, reclaim your narrative. Shift your inner dialogue from I need to fix myself instead to I get to nurture myself. This small but powerful reframe moves you from chasing perfection out of obligation to choosing self-care out of love and empowerment, turning consumption into an intentional act rather than a desperate reaction. And finally, practice a confidence ritual. Commit to a daily or weekly practice that reconnects you with your power without spending a dime. This could be journaling your wins, dancing like no one's watching, meditating for 5 minutes, or slipping into your favorite outfit purely for your own joy. Whatever it is, let it be a consistent reminder that your worth is rooted in who you are, not in what you buy. All right, our quote of the week comes to you straight from the mouth of an unknown individual. And this person says, "You are not flawed. You've been handed a manufactured version of yourself, one that supposedly needs fixing, because that illusion keeps the money flowing." Boom. Ouch. That's a harsh reality, isn't it? It's a harsh reality coupled with a very perfect opening statement. You are not flawed. I mean, hell, when I have people come to see me for therapy, they come thinking they need to be fixed. No, you don't need to be fixed. You are perfect in your imperfection. Are there things to work on to help you feel better? Absolutely. Let's do that together. Yes, I love doing that with my patients. But they're not flawed. They simply have areas of their life that they want to work on. But when they come to me thinking that they are flawed and broken beyond repair, of course I normalize that they feel broken, but they're not. None of us get out of life alive, right? So let's make a commitment to being kinder to ourselves, to saying nicer things to ourselves, and to get right with ourselves. Like I said at the beginning, get right with the beautiful queen, the beautiful warrior that is inside you. Because you are not flawed. You've simply been handed a bad story. You've been handed a reality that demands from you. Let's stop that now. All right, ladies. We may not be able to dismantle capitalism by ourselves, but we can stop feeding it with our self-worth. By choosing awareness, intentional spending, and daily self-affirmation, we cut off its most profitable fuel, our insecurities. So, here's your challenge. Pick one area where you feel pressured to improve yourself. Then, instead of buying the marketed solution, do something completely free that makes you feel powerful. Call a friend who hypes you up, write yourself a love letter, or take a walk without your phone. Let me tell you, walking away from technology for a little while is amazing. For those of you who have listened to other episodes, you know that I have chickens that I got this year. And I leave my phone inside and I go out and I sit with my chickens because they make me laugh and they cuddle with me and they are just so funny to observe. And I lose myself in the moment because I don't have technology ringing in my ear reminding me that I'm not good enough. Hell no, I'm hanging out with my chickens and they think I'm their god or something. I'm their chicken mama. So that's a self-esteem boost right there. If you can get a chicken to love you, right? You got to be a good person. All right, my friends, if today's conversation lit a fire in you, please share this episode with a friend who needs the reminder that she is already enough. And if you haven't yet, hit that follow button so you never miss an episode that calls out the myths and manipulations holding women back. Until next time, gals, remember, your worth is not for sale, and you never needed their permission to own it. This podcast is powered by Kelly Hint Empowerment Coaching, as well as Kelly M. Hint LMHC and The Cranky Counselor. To find out more about coaching services, head over to CoachKellyHint.com. If you'd like to know more about the psychotherapy services I offer to individuals within the state of New York, you can check out KellyMHint.com. And if you'd like to learn more about aromatherapy, you can check out TheCrankyCounselor.com.